Welcome to the channel. Thank you everybody for tuning in. On today's video, we will be reviewing the Pagani design PD1718. This, of course, is the Tudor BB chronograph homage. Now, of course, we know San Martin did one of these homages not too long ago, an extremely popular watch. Of course, it was quite expensive as well. Now, this is Pagani Design's take. And as we know, Pagani Design tick all the boxes for an extremely affordable price. This watch you can pick up from the trendy men's watch store for around £70, which is around $90. Now, this watch was sent in to me for free by the trendy men's watch store in order for this to be reviewed and for me to show you this watch. It has proven to be quite popular already. It has in or around 200 odd orders from one particular store. God knows how many more have sold on AliExpress. Of course, you guys are familiar with the packaging. This is the box that it comes in. They also do provide a single pass NATO strap. The NATO strap is actually a very good quality strap. Some of the straps do come quite stiff like cardboard, but this is quite supple, and I think it'll be a good combination for this watch. But of course, this watch can go on a huge number of straps. This is going to be an absolute strap beast. Anything from NATOs to leather to rubber, whatever your choice is. You also have a cloth which is included in every single box, and I'm glad that they have gone away from those huge boxes, you know, this whole premium edition that they were doing. There's really no need for that in my opinion. So let's move all this out of the way and let's concentrate on this watch in hand. Now let's give you some specifications. You've got a stainless steel case. You do have a top hat style sapphire crystal. You've got a ceramic bezel insert. You also have 100 meters of water resistance, a screw down crown, screw down pushers, and also a screw down case back. Now the watch runs the Seiko VK64 Mecha Quartz movement, a very popular movement used in loads of micro brands and loads of Chinese watches and other watches alike. And one thing with that movement, it does have a running seconds hand, which due to this style you can see they've just covered it up and you don't have that functionality. Bracelet supplied is a faux rivet style bracelet. It does have screw-in links, and I actually prefer this bracelet to the actual rivet style bracelets. You've seen my video with San Martin. Overly frustrated. I think the beauty with this style of bracelet, you still get the visual aesthetics, you know, of that vintage rivet bracelet, but you get the practicality and the ease of just using screw-in links. You've got solid end links, all solid links, a really nice milled clasp, fully brushed over. And so it's nice to see Pagani Design have taken advice from all the reviewers and the customers alike. A lot of the watches that are coming out, you see a load of brushing present rather than those highly polished surfaces that we used to see before. It makes it for a more practical watch, a more tool watch as well, and I think it is the preferred finish for most people, as those polished surfaces get very easily scratched and it ends up looking a little bit ugly. Let's give you an overview of the dimensions. Case diameter is just a touch under 39.5 millimeters. The thickness of the case is 13 millimeters. You've got a lug to lug of just under 48 millimeters at 47.6. A crown thickness of 6.8 millimeters. A lug width of 20 millimeters. Bracelet is of course 20 millimeters, which does taper down to 18 and up to around 19.5 at the clasp. The overall weight with no links removed is 165 grams, so a fairly decent weight. The watch comes in two different colors. You've got a silver dial and you've got a black dial version, and of course with the black dial you get the opposite contrasting subdials. This one comes with the two black subdials, as you can see, giving you that famous panda look. The dial construction is a mix of printed and applied features. You've got the printed Pagani Design logo just below the 12 and you've got text above the 6. You've got the letters UGS, don't know what they stand for, in red, but that's a nice touch because it matches the red on the tip of that chronograph seconds hand. We've got applied hour markers with silver polished frames, set nicely, and they look perfectly aligned, to be honest. And below the 6 o'clock hour mark on either side, you'll see Japan movement. You've also got a printed chapter ring with a sub-second split printed, very nice and clean. And I mentioned this is a silver dial because, you know, in the pictures you can look at it as white. I guess it's probably a mix of both, but definitely in hand it seems a little bit more silvery than like enamel white, for example. The handset used is the snowflake hands. The hands are quite flat. There's no chamfer or brushing present, just flat and polished. You've got the two subdials to your right and left. On your right hand side, the subdial is responsible for giving you the 24-hour time position, and to your left you've got the 60-minute timer. Let's run that chronograph for a bit, see how that functions. The pushers do screw in and screw out, which is a nice feature, and as mentioned earlier on, the crown also screws in and screws out, which of course will aid that 100 meters of water resistance. Now you've also got a ceramic bezel inset. The bezel inset is placed on top of a bezel platform, let's say. Now the bezel itself is actually nicely finished. You've got 2-level finishing, you've got a polished rim which goes around the side, and the bottom part is also brushed, very finely brushed. I'm glad I'm seeing this level of finishing from Pagani. They are coming out with this very fine brushing, and I've overused the word satinized, or use it in almost every chance I get. But yeah, that is the level of finishing we're seeing. Very smooth, you can just about see the grain, which is really nice to see. And that brushing is present all across the watch case. You've got linear brushing on the end link, but you've got like a cross kind of brushing on the lugs, where it does go along with the shape of the lugs. It isn't dead straight, as you can see, just slightly curves. Now, side of the case is horizontal, fine brushing, which is nice to look at. And you've got these polished highlights which go around the profile of the case. A very premium feature that I like to see on a lot of watches. It really does make the watch case stand out. However, I did notice this with the BB58 version that Pagani did. The brushing isn't perfect. The lines aren't perfectly crisp and clear. You can just see the brushing on the side there, where it's a bit rough, and like I said, there's no clean lines present. Same for the other side. Let's turn the watch around the other way, and you can see it's slightly worse on that, end, where it's just not as crisp as you'd like it, and how you see it on a lot of other watches. Now, of course, this watch is only £70, so you've got to bear that in mind. Do I expect perfection? Hell no, because, you know, there needs to be a price difference in a lot of things, and definitely at arm's length is something which you will not spot. It's only when you bring the watch under close inspection do you see that. The crown is signed, as always with Pagani, and this is one thing I've always given Pagani credit for. Their branding has been on point near enough from day one. I know they went to Pagani Design and, you know, all sorts of different names, but that was due to copyright more so than anything else. But their branding has been on point. It's never changed. They keep it on the right places, like the clasp, the case back. Let's give you a look at the case back. Circular brushing. They have started to put different motifs on the back now. This one is upgraded, and upgraded Grand Series. I don't know why they've got that on there, but it does have the model number, the water resistance rating, and the stainless steel, etc. So to be fair to Pagani, it looks like a really good watch. The only thing we need to look at is the lume, because traditionally they are always lacking. So on that point, let's see if they have improved anything. And would you look at that? They are not messing about with this watch, are they? The lume is a lot better than it has been on the previous models. You can still see some failure in it. I think the quality of lume they're using is probably quite poor, or thin layers, or maybe a combination of both. It is rather patchy in the hour markers. You can see it's patchy on the minute hand, a little bit on the hour hand. But the good thing is it works. It is a lot brighter than they've had on pretty much all their watches. But yeah, you know, not exactly there. And maybe they need to improve the quality of lume. I know good quality lume can get expensive, but I think it's definitely worth the purchase if it makes your watches look that much better. But positive from me on this one, the lume is much better than we've seen it, and it is actually visible. And this is without any direct UV intervention, just from my UV lights that keep in this room. Now, after the UV lamp, you can see it burns very brightly, but so will pretty much everything when you give it direct UV interaction. It's just after a couple of minutes, it'll start to die down into what we saw before. So I am impressed with that one. They have improved the lume. It's still not quite there yet, but miles better than it was before. Now, I mentioned about the bracelet, fully brushed. You can also see female end links. Again, Pagani listening to the customers, which is a really nice thing to see. So that'll be a very comfortable fit on a lot of wrists. So you've got a 3-link style bracelet, as I mentioned, 4 rivet links, which I absolutely love. And you've got the polished sides to those links. Now, there's no sharpness in that bracelet as well. They have been finished really well. I absolutely hate edgy bracelets now, and really good finishing to see at this price point. Nice, linear, very smooth. No issues there on the brushing that I can see. Just over on the other side. Again, same level of finishing. And I also do like Pagani design clasps. Very easy to use, very secure as well. It is milled internally, folded over the top with some engraving, Pagani design, some nice shaping there as well, which does add strength. You've got 3 micro adjusts present, and you also have a diver's extension. Let's get it out. There we go. Now, I have seen people slate these, but correct me if I'm wrong, I've seen this style of diver's extension on a Doxa, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, it works, right? It's present. You don't find this extension on a lot of more expensive watches. Let's look at the San Martin version. I don't think that has a dive extension, but I haven't looked at that, so again, I could be wrong. If I am, please correct me. But looking at the clasp, yes, very nice. I have no issues with that. Really nice positive click, very secure. Now what remains is just to size this for my wrist and put it on my 6.5-inch wrist and see how it looks. Here we have the Pagani design PD1718 on my 6.5-inch wrist. You do get quite a large bracelet. I had to take out 6 links in total. Usually I take out around 2 on each side. So yeah, very nice fit as well, quite comfortable. And like I said, those finished edges on the bracelet, they do make a difference. They don't dig into your wrist. I got quite a snug fit, but I also have the option of 3 micro just to kind of help that. It looks quite good. 39.5 millimeters, really good proportions. 48 millimeters, pretty standard, and it definitely will fit a 6.5-inch wrist really nice. And of course, it'll fit other wrists a lot better as well. So yeah, this watch does tick a lot of boxes. I've seen them improve. You know, I really can't fault this watch for much. And I did mention just something missed on the finishing on the side. Not enough. The transitions weren't as clean as we've seen on other watches, but it is only £70, $90, so I don't expect the world from this watch. In terms of the dial, everything else is aligned. Printing is great, like it always has been. Branding is good. The Lume has improved significantly. Still isn't 100%, but let's bring that price point in. I think it is doable within that price point. Still, I'll stick to that. Nice bracelet as well. I can't really fault this watch, like I said. So guys, I gotta finish off on here. That's it for me on this review. Short and sweet, I hope. I will leave a link to the watch within the description below. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Don't forget to check out my eBay store. I have left a link within the description. Anything from brand new watches to used watches to a whole host of accessories, including straps, leather, silicone, you name it, all very reasonably priced. If you do want to reach out to me for something specific, then contact me on my email address, which again is within the description. Thank you once again, guys. Your support means everything.